Great. I will call to order the Pickering School Building Committee. Roll call, please.
Mayor Nicholson.
Present.
Dr. Alvarez.
Present.
Mr. Bennett.
Present.
Mr. Bertino. Here earlier. Member Castellanos. Councilor Chakoudas. Ms. Cohen.
Here.
Mr. Donovan.
Present.
Ms. Drago.
Present.
Mr. Duffy.
Present.
Member Gately.
Present.
Ms. Gerardo. Mr. Kolokides.
Present.
Councilor LaPierre. Mr. Makua.
Present.
Mr. Mannion.
Present.
Mr. Marlin. Mayor McGee.
Present.
Councilor Meany. Ms. Miller. Ms. Philbrook.
Present.
Mr. Ridley.
Present.
And Ms. Fritz.
Present.
All right, we do have a quorum. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. Can you all see that?
Yes.
All right, so tonight we've got our regular administrative actions, meeting minutes and budget update. We've got some great news for the project update. We'll talk a little bit about procurement, ground improvements, and construction, general construction. We've got a schedule update, both project schedule, and then we can talk about upcoming SBC meetings. And we could do a quick recap on the public forum that was held last week. First order of business is to review and approve the meeting minutes that were sent around in the packet from August 13th.
Your motion?
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Lynn, would you like to bring everyone through the budget update?
Sure. Good evening. As of the end of August, we had committed 93% of the approved budget to date, and we have expended 22% of the budget. And in terms of construction, we're about 23% complete.
Okay.
So our cash flow, because we started this cash flow back when our project scope and budget agreement was approved back at the end of schematic design, our projected expenditure is drastically higher than our actual expenditure, and that's because of the delay in the ground improvements and the re-engineering that occurred. So we're going to see from here on out a significant delta in the projected versus the actual based on that. We are currently working on the guaranteed maximum price. We've gone through the budget and we feel that we will have enough money with the latest appropriation to finalize the GMP. We are still looking at the budget in terms of other soft costs to get us to the end of the project. The GMP will be broken out into CSI, which is the Construction Specification Institute's divisions for the categories of construction. We need to do that in order to submit for reimbursements to MSBA. Once we have what we call that breaking out of the divisions, the schedule of values of the GMP. And once we have that prepared and ready, we will submit it to MSBA and they will issue us the project funding bid amendment So we have a project funding agreement currently, but this will be our actual bid amendment for the cost of construction that we will issue to them. And the total project budget will get revised based on the bid amendment.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lynn. Before we dive into construction, maybe we'll pause for a moment. Does anyone have any questions about that? Fantastic. All right. So, Brandon, you would have seen that we've got this broken up into ground improvements up front, and then.
All right, Craig, I did have a quick question.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Lynn, did we ever put the VE list together? Just in case we run out of fund.
Yeah, we had a VE list at every phase that we made a submission to MSBA on the design development, the 60%, the 90%, and the 100%. We do have that VE list. We have incorporated things that I don't think most anybody would recognize. But in terms of any major changes through VE, we have not implemented those.
Okay, thank you.
All right. If there are no other questions, Brandon, take it away.
All right, good evening, everyone. So the first highlight here is the earthquake drains. Last month's meeting, I believe we were 100% complete, or call it substantially complete, with everything outside of the jet grout area that we'll show you later. On the left side of the screen, the picture all the way to the left is those prepared earthquake drains before they get put into the mandrel of the machine and get installed. In the middle, that photo on the right is what it looks like during our excavation process to get to our final subgrade to the top of our load transfer platform. So while we're working through these to get to our foundations, which is the great milestone we'll show you a little later on, it's a little more of an arduous process than a typical site cut to get to subgrade. But Dorenzo and Keller working together hand in hand with Terracon on site to make sure everyone's happy with the quality of work that's happening, and we are maintaining these earthquake drains at the elevation that we need per design. So it's a lot of digging around different elements because everyone's seen the stacked overlays, I think, a few times of all the different things we have in the ground here now, but it is going well. This next highlight is the rigid inclusion. So that's the settlement control mechanism that we have in the ground improvements design, right? On the left is the rig that was used to install them. We're also calling it substantially complete with this scope of work. Everything highlighted in green on the right is complete. They finished all those on the 26th of August. And then that crew has moved over to work in that area where you don't see any green dots in the top left is all the jet grout install and the laydown for it. So we're going to have to tackle that area with there's about 74 rigid inclusions that aren't done over there that'll get done once we finish that jet grout. You can see in that middle photo, oh, sorry, Craig, what those rigid inclusions, the top of them look like as we expose them, get to subgrade, and before we build that LTP of stone, the load transfer platform on top of it. That's basically what it looks like. And that's just the top. Obviously, they vary in depth from 25, 30 plus feet down, depending on where it is. This is the shot of the jet grout operation. Very in-depth, takes up a lot of space. So this highlighted group of circles on the right, all the colors actually correlate to a day. That's why there's so many different shades. The sequence of this install is very critical. So Keller, Consigli, Left Field, RDA, Terracon, and SGH are talking every week about the sequence, how they're going to go in, how to best support the sheets and the existing school. So that's an ongoing conversation weekly about the actual sequence of the work, but those are going very well. We've had no major issues. We're tracking kind of the quality of them as we go. We haven't seen movement of the sheets that would make anyone cause any concern, which is fantastic. It means the solution we chose is working, along with the installation method. These go a little slower. We're assuming this is about 8 weeks worth of work. We've done 50 of them through the end of day today, and there's a total of 160. So we still have some time doing this scope of work while we get to the foundations on the other side of the site. This is our logistics plan as it shows our basically subgrade prep, same footprint that we were having for the longest time on the job. We did turn over some work that we'll highlight here for the school to open at the first week of September on the backside of Sisson. This is the switchback ramp that we completed. So we mobilized behind the school right after the last day of school this year. And we worked all the way up until the day right before school and even the morning of school to really get the layout of some Jersey barriers and things right with the folks at Sisson and Pickering. So we turned this over. There's some temporary handrails that are in fabrication now that will go in on a school downtime, maybe a holiday that we can get in there and put them in, but everything is safe working, and we were able to turn over that temporary playground again for use for, I believe, both gym class and recess each day. This is another good shot of our prep for footings. So you'll see kind of that staggered process. We have that cut of all the subgrade. We've laid down some raffi to prevent anything from getting into that stone layer from below. You can see some more earthquake drains popping up, and then we're really getting that stone in to get a 1 foot layer, which acts for both the earthquake drain system as well as the load transfer platform to distribute the loads underneath the footings down to those rigid inclusions. This is a drone shot from a week and a half ago now that's showing our progress, shot from the northeast corner of the site. So you can really see we started with about an offset off of the jet grout scope along the north sheets, and we've worked our way around, and we're going to continue going around the sheets and then towards the south side of the building to get those foundations. So we've placed some a good amount of footing, which is going to be in the picture I believe that we have next, but we really are chasing that area. Another good shot here. You could see in this photo, we have rebar in on the right side of the page there, right where that cursor is. And then essentially our concrete sub is chasing behind a site work sub as they get as much prepped as they possibly can to keep going with our footing. Another good shot from the south side of the site. You can see that switchback ramp area on the back side of Sisson turned over. A lot of that equipment just south of that cursor, that all has to go with the jet grout scope of work. So it really is there's a lot of steps associated with that work, which is what's keeping us out of that little northeast corner until we can get that done. So a great milestone tracking for us that I think everyone here was really hoping to get to was getting those first foundations, those footings placed. So we did get the first one placed where we had shown in that drone shot earlier up against those north sheets, getting to the northeast corner of the building footprint. We're wrapping that down towards the east side, like I said now, and we're going to kind of chase that in a circle, continue with footings, and then in about 2 weeks, we'll be mobilizing with they're called gang forms because this is a large, tall retaining wall, to come in and start setting some form work and begin actually getting ready to place a foundation wall. So this is, do you want me to take this one, Craig?
Yeah, sure. Yes, please.
Okay. So this is a snippet of the milestones from our most recent schedule update. It kind of aligns with the time frame we've been telling you guys here for the last couple months as what we think everyone's going to be able to tackle. The one highlight that we are showing here, and like we've said on some past meetings, is as we get through this ground improvements, we did great production-wise with rigid inclusions and earthquake drains. The jet grout is one of the things we just can't gain time on, which we were a little worried about not being able to. We are working some extended days, but there's only so many columns that can be done at once. So that'll kind of handcuff us a little bit to get out of the ground from a schedule standpoint. But we do plan, once we get through this winter, all our fingers are crossed that it will be a mild one. that we can go ahead and reevaluate the schedule and see if there are opportunities to pull in that end date, if at all. But it'll be something we continue to look at because I know it's important to the city.
So plugging that latest information from the construction schedule into our overall project schedule, we've updated this graphic since the last time you saw it, probably back in the spring. We've got, everything started when we had shown it, but we've got this lighter blue in here. That's the redesign and reinstallation of ground improvements. So everyone can see that was a big effort, and everyone was very patient as that was going along, and the design team and construction team pushed very hard to get through that as quick as possible, which was great. Once that is done, then we move into our main school construction, which was, the foundations, the structure, the envelope, the interior. So we are, as Brandon was saying, we're getting very close to that point. I see Tom's got a hand raised.
Yeah, quick, I went over the schedule today when the package came in, and I saw that the steel is set to be installed starting in January. Is that what the hope is?
We are actually hoping right now, because what we did, Tom, was we were able to stack and start our foundations a little sooner in that building footprint because we did gain time on the earthquake drains and rigid inclusion. So we are tracking the end of November right now to actually get in there and mobilize with structural steel.
And when are we going to get the steel out of Canada?
It's all contingent upon how much space we have. So
Yeah.
the goal would be, if everything works out with what's not in everyone's control here, right, would be to get it out. And we basically have just in time delivery. So they bring just enough for those couple of days. We have X amount of laydown. Let's say it's 10 to 12 trailers or so on our job site. And that's always rotating as we go. So we never end up with we just don't have, we have space on we don't have that much space, right? Compared to where the steel shops are. So I wouldn't expect steel to come until sometime mid-November to be ready for that late November start.
Okay, just a comment. You're doing yeoman's work. It's unbelievable, but you drive by, you don't see anything. Once the steel goes up, everybody's going to know we're building a building here, which is like a milestone that we've gotten to. Here's the steel. We're moving forward. So that's great. That's good news.
Absolutely, agree 100%. Any other questions about? Oh, and sort of to underscore what we were just saying is come spring of 2026, that's when the team will take another hard look at this main construction duration and see what we can do about it. Next, we've got our upcoming building committee meetings, October 15th, November 12th, and December 17th. Now we're into other business. This is just a quick recap of that. Oh, Lorraine, I see your hand is up.
I want to thank you, Brandon, for getting all this work done. I see one of the candidates for Ward 1 is here, and I want them to know that we did all this excess work so that we wouldn't have a problem with the sub-levels in the ground. So it took us off a little bit, but you're doing yeoman's work, and we are going to finish like in 2026, correct? Fingers crossed. Nice winter. Thank you for all you do.
I also saw Florrie's hand is up.
Yeah, just a quick question. Are we gonna be able to see some of those finishes at some point with RDA? Is there gonna be a session?
Yes. Short
Okay.
answer, yes.
Okay.
We've talked about that offline or in our owner, architect, construction manager meetings. And Gene, I don't mean to speak out of turn, but I think sort of like November-ish was the time that we might have enough material from the subcontractors that the design team can kind of put that package together and then show it off. I wish I had put it in here, but one of the first steps is a masonry, like a brick masonry mock-up that was done.
Okay.
There's a couple big panels out there that the design team's been reviewing. So it is on our to-do list. And Gene, is that right? Sort of around the November timeframe, give or take, is when we think that
Yeah.
presentation could happen.
Yeah, so I apologize, everyone. For some reason, I can't get my camera on, but I am here and listening. So we are planning whenever the November SBC meeting is, that's our goal, to have a presentation that night for and everybody else.
Is it an approval process or is it just a FYI process?
Well, we typically will show what we recommend and then listen to feedback. Hopefully, hopefully everybody likes it, but if we have feedback, we go back to the drawing board,
Sounds good. Well, I look forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other questions about any of those topics? Great, not seeing any. So we had a public meeting, a public forum on September 10th. It was pretty thin attendance, but as I mentioned, LCTV made a recording of it. This is a little screenshot of it on their website. There's a link down here for anyone who's got this meeting packet. We have also put it onto the project website, so a link to it. So if you go to the main page of the project website, it's right here. Click on that to view the recording, and you can also find it if you're looking through our calendar and you look at September 10th. There's a link to that as well. So hopefully, even though it wasn't greatly attended in person, hopefully anyone who's interested will come across this and be able to watch the video. We had it was a panel style presentation. The mayor kicked things off. RDA talked about the design once it's all done, specifically edge treatment, what the abutters are going to see right next to their properties. Consigli went through a whole series of construction photos and logistics plans to orient everybody. And then we had a nice FAQ. We had a nice questions and answers session at the end, and all those questions that were asked, they're being typed up now, and the responses, and we're going to put that on the FAQs page of the project website.
Craig, I think you heard my comment last week. I think there was an issue with timing, right? Something happened because the information that we received in the last meeting was not what ended up happening on social media. Right now, everyone checks social media for business agendas, and schedule. So I think in the next one, let's just do better to at least communicate to us, because we have folks that also ask us these questions, as we move around the cities.
Yep, absolutely. So I think it was the draft version of the presentation where I had the time wrong, and then I think the final presentation had it right, and then the social media had it consistent. But you're right that we will be more careful about getting that out there so we don't get those mixed messages or confusion.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Tom, I see you've got your hand up.
Yeah, just another comment. There was a nice article, letter to the editor in the item about somebody that was at that meeting and gave, just an outstanding review back for that meeting and the explanations given on what's going on with the ground situation there. I thought it was a very nice little letter and well done.
Thank you. I didn't even see that. I'll have to pull that up. All right. Any other questions or comments? That's all we had for tonight.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor?
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you, everyone.
Good
Thanks so
night.
much for the
Thank
update.
you.
Thanks for all your work.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.
Have a
Good
great
night,
night.
everyone.
Night.
Thanks,
Night,
all. Good night,
everybody.
everybody.